Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phalen, a weekly program here on LSN Television. We're also carried by a number of our radio affiliates throughout Fairfield County. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week, and certainly the staff as students here at Fairfield Christian Academy that put this program together, along with our executive producer Kelly Roberts, that has really done a terrific job in the last few months kind of putting these programs together, getting questions together and a lot of different things. This is going to be a little bit different program this week because we have actually 3 guests, and we're going to talk about 2013. By the way, I hope everyone had a great New Year's, and as we're now into 2014, we're going to be looking back at last year. With us today is Sergeant Casey Kern, the head of our Detective Bureau, and to my left is Sergeant Alex Lape. He's our Patrol Bureau Commander, and also Lieutenant Mark Churchill, who is the jail commander. So we've got a great group here, and we're going to be talking about things that happened last year. Before we get started, New Year's resolutions. Not to put you on the spot.
Not to make one.
Not to make one. No resolutions.
No resolutions.
Is that like a poor track record for those in the years past?
I would like to say yes. It is. Very hard to. I always seem to, by January 3rd, it's done. So.
Yeah, it's just like I'm a member over at the Family Y, and what typically you find is like the first couple of months of the year, this place, it's packed. I mean, there's a lot of people. They're there. They've got new memberships. But you get into the spring, it's kind of tapered off again. So, yep. What about you?
I want to lose another 10 pounds. That'll be my New Year's resolution.
Any strategies?
Just not eat as much as I.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's pretty unique, actually.
Portion control.
Portion control. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Sergeant Kern.
One thing I always try to work on is not to prejudge people too much.
Oh, good for you.
And I always, that's something that we in law enforcement, I think, sometimes rush to judgment on, that aspect of people. And being in the Detective Bureau, you see a lot of the negative aspects, so I always try to keep in mind the positive things.
Yeah, I think many times when you deal with a lot of negatives, as we do, like the prisoners in the jail, the people that you get caught on domestics day in, day out, you kind of can get kind of a skewed outlook.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's probably a pretty good one. Yeah. So all good stuff.
Yeah.
All good stuff. Well, let's think now about last year, some things that happened, and we'll start right over there with you, Lieutenant Churchill. Major things that affected your area of responsibility in the jail.
I think 2 of the biggest areas were getting the jail ministries and the social services all together and bringing them all into the office, getting them more organized. We have Pastor Tom, who's done an outstanding job being a liaison between myself and the ministry groups that come in and see the inmates. It's just been a tremendous success, and I'm very proud of it. And then we have the social services that are coming in now on a more regular basis, more structured basis, like Alcoholics Anonymous for both male and female inmates, Narcotics Anonymous for both male and female inmates. And then we've got GED classes back again. So my goal is to be able to take some of the inmates to go get their GED test for 2014.
Oh, that's great. So for our viewers or listeners that may not know this, for the first time we now have a jail chaplain, Tom Underwood, and we also have a sheriff's office chaplain to kind of address death notifications, areas in the sheriff's office where deputies may want some spiritual guidance, and that's Jason Cordell. So again, new things to the sheriff's office last year, and that's going along very well. And it really was kind of important, I think, to kind of coordinate the activities. We have at any given time about 10 different churches and groups that are involved in our jail ministry, and then you also have, like you said, the social services part of it.
Yes, I mean, there's every day of the week there's some type of agency that's coming in for the betterment of the inmate population.
Right.
And it takes them out of their cells. It gives them something more positive to focus on, which hopefully, if they stay on these types of tracks, the chances of them returning back to jail will drop, and
Right.
they could increase their quality of lives. So,
What about on the patrol division last year?
Well, there were a lot of different things that went on in the county. Some of the things that some of the patrol deputies had to learn were changes in the law. The ban on texting went into effect. It directly probably affected those drivers under the age of 18 more than any of the others, because with the passage of House Bill 99, they could no longer use any electronic wireless device at
Right.
all in a vehicle while driving. And while driving even includes while stopped in traffic and sitting at a traffic light. So it precludes anybody under the age of 18 from basically doing anything with an electronic wireless device.
Have you seen any decreases, or can you really tell at this point, or is it too early?
Unfortunately, that's one of the things that it's not the easiest thing to track. I know there have been a couple incidents where citations have been issued under that new law. For drivers 18 years and older, it's a little less restrictive. It just specifies, while driving they can't text or email, or with the under 18 they cannot even talk on the phone while driving. So hopefully it does what it intends to do, because the statistics with texting and driving and use of electronic devices while driving are out there, and it's pretty clear how much it distracts from your attention while you're on the road. Other than that, we've just been out in the county trying to get involved in the schools, do some training with the schools. We've done mock vehicle crashes and some different things like that. We've done some armed intruder trainings, and so we're trying to stay proactive and share some of the training and the knowledge that we have with the schools and the school administrations and the students.
I know with a lot of the school shootings that they've had over the last 10, 15 years, that has really now to the forefront.
Right.
So there's that interaction that's absolutely necessary today.
And the dynamics of that whole situation as far as training and preparedness, they've kind of evolved over the years, and our last training that we did really kind of exemplifies that whole new mentality and whole new approach to that kind of thing, where we can get 1,600 students out of a school in less than 5 minutes is kind of phenomenal, especially when we have a person who's actually going through the school and actively looking for them as targets as that drill's going on, and he's not seeing them. So to get that many kids out of a school,
and that was at Lancaster High School a few months ago.
Right. That was on November the 16th, I believe, and it was a pretty good training, and some school administrators from other schools came in and watched while we conducted that drill with the Lancaster Police Department also, and it was a successful thing, and it was a kind of a phenomenon. You could get that many kids directed out of a school in that length of time.
Yeah, I think the big change that we've seen over the years, it used to be, well, I guess there's two big changes. That it used to be if you had some kind of an incident in a school, you would go and cordon off the area on the outside. You would wait for the SWAT team, the tactical team, to get in there. You would kind of hold off, all those kind of things. Now today, it's like we go right in.
Right.
We go toward the shooter.
Yes, sir.
And the other part of that is it's not always the best idea to get in a room and close the door and try to barricade the door. A good strategy, if you're not near the shooters, to get out of the building, right?
That's correct. That's the way the new training's going. So, and it seems to work.
Detective Bureau this last year, a lot of stuff. I know we could do 2 shows on that.
Probably our most serious event we had was we had a homicide. and that's the first one we've had since 2008. And luckily, it was Lieutenant Lake was there and worked very coordinated with the patrol, and in a day's time, we had the suspect in jail, which turned out to be a long and tedious investigation.
Right.
But we did it very quickly and got it done, and went very well.
Yeah, I mean, I was out there that morning, and members of the prosecutor's office was there, and that is really something that with the sheriff's office, like you said, we don't have any homicides.
No, first one since 08.
Yeah.
Since 2008.
What else?
Well, one of the biggest things is my guys went to training.
Okay.
And one of the things I wanted to really talk about was cell phone training. You know, we can extract information from cellular devices.
Okay.
And also the computers. We can, any hard drive, and we can clone that hard drive and extract any information off of those. Those are two big investigative tools that I feel that will help us and help us solve crimes.
Isn't it just amazing how the technology, and I'll throw this open to anybody here, how that's really improved and changed in the last 10 years, even since I've been sheriff in the county.
Yes.
With the DNA, with the advancement in the way to enter cell phones and computers, how we can get information from those that a few years ago that wasn't on the table.
Well, and even a lot of the burglaries where we're taking more evidence and submitting that DNA and getting those results back, and we can track down the suspects through that with BCI, and that's very, very big technology advancement.
Now, when your officers or deputies go out to the scene of a burglary or something, that's one of the things they're looking for, isn't it?
Yeah,
DNA evidence?
Yeah, there's been over the course of the past year several deputies that have responded to, say, a burglary and processed the scene and collected particular types of evidence, and in doing so have come up with what's referred to as a CODIS match and developed a suspect, and then because of that initial processing of that scene, you know, the job that they do, it creates a suspect where there probably wouldn't be one.
Very much so.
And a lot of our deputies, they have to be out there and trained in a lot of things that maybe detectives did a few years ago. They're doing that right on the scene now.
Yes, yeah, they're doing it. Some things they can do pretty easily, and those things are critical a lot of times in developing suspects. So I can think of right off the top of my head 3 different cases where they've collected evidence on the scene initially, and it's created suspects and
resulted in
prosecution
of
right,
the cases.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back a few years ago, I think before you were in the detective bureau, they actually found a cigarette butt around a house out of a homicide, and they linked that cigarette butt to the DNA of the suspect
Yes.
a few years ago. Hey guys, we're almost out of time. As amazing as that is, we are going to have you all back next year because we really just kind of touched the surface on things that happened during last year in Fairfield County with the jail, with the Detective Bureau, and with the Patrol Division. So if you're all available, we'd like to have you back next week, and we'll talk more about the things that happened last year here in Fairfield County within the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. Well, we're just about out of time. Again, I appreciate the students here at Fairfield Christian Academy that put this program together, and Kelly Roberts, our executive producer. Until next week, same time, same place. If you're driving, buckle up. God bless, and we'll see you right here next week.
Thanks for coming.
Are we in trouble?
No, you're not in trouble. I just want to set some ground rules.
Like what?
Well, remember last week when you hit Vinny in the head with the shovel?
I do not recall that.
Of course not. Well, it was pretty graphic. Too graphic for the kids. So I'm going to have to block you.
You know, I got to make this up to you. This is Vinny's watch, and I want you to have it. You deserve it.
No, thank you. That's really not necessary.
No, come here.